We're giddy about the Sim Gaming Expo next week, and you? Greetings Romy, you're watching WromWrom, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing and a regular news roundup, our weekly sim racing news. Thanks to all those who come here often, especially those who subscribe, and even more, our patrons. My name is Sarta and I will be your host for this video. Wreckfest 2 is alive and dropped a rather extensive update with a very interesting addition. The truck simulators by SCS are in a new open beta cycle, and Friday next week is the start of the Sim Gaming Expo in Chicago, so we put together a little something for you, and we will have a lot of coverage coming from the Expo thanks to our resident Texan Cody.
Howdy.
I'll talk about it in a minute or two, or three. First, the other news. Wreckfest 2 seems to be still in development, as this week it saw the release of a new update number 3. The update adds 2 new cars, the Switchback, described as an American muscle car, and the Popper, labeled as a European folk racing vehicle which looks like a beaten up Cinquecento. 7 new track layouts were included, featuring the new Cannon Hill folk racing track and additional configurations for existing circuits, including Scrapyard, Savolax and European Rallycross venues. The update also addresses several technical issues, including damage calculation consistency across different frame rates and reduced input lag in multiplayer scenarios. AI opponents received upgrades with new difficulty settings and improved driving behavior, including what developers describe as smarter turning and better interaction with other vehicles. Multiplayer was expanded with in-game chat options, player reporting systems and improved result viewing times. Be aware that developers announced that leaderboards will be reset following the update because previous top times have become unattainable due to changes in the game's physics or mechanics, though the specific reasons for this reset were not detailed. The update includes extensive audio improvements and very new and very interesting telemetry support through SimHub. All your gimmicks and gizmos will now work with Wreckfest 2. Woohoo! SCS Software has rolled out the 1.56 open beta for American Truck Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator 2. The big technical improvement is something called Height Blend, which the developers describe as making terrain transitions look more realistic. In plain words, this means grass won't awkwardly cut off where it meets a rock anymore. The team proudly mentions they've converted, tweaked and visually checked over 1,300 materials, which sounds like someone had a very boring few months at the office. Dynamic cargo loading has been expanded to include more trailer types, so players can now watch virtual workers load logs and metal scrap onto their trucks. It's the kind of feature that's either wonderfully immersive or makes you question your life choices. The update includes several practical improvements, a new zoom toggle option because holding keys can be tiresome, and a redesigned DLC browser that shows 4 items per row instead of 3, and a completely overhauled profile with cart-like slots that the developers are clearly quite proud of. The new truck selection screen lets players spin 3D truck models around. There's even a random button for the truly indecisive. What this brings is essentially interface updates, lots of them. On the ETS2 part, the HS Shock tuning pack gets chrome finishes, paintable options and LED everything, because nothing says professional trucker like disco lights on your grille. And they've added support for trucks that didn't exist when the DLC launched. The Special Transport DLC includes ZZ local locomotives, including the FE Shunter 1000 that weighs a modest 80 tons. And the Schmitz Cargo Bull trailer pack adds a 32-meter high-capacity transport setup, essentially 2 trailers connected together. And I sure missed some press release as they talk about changing their development and release cycle for console releases. Sims, ATS and ETS2 are coming for Xbox and PlayStation at some point in the kinda near future, hopefully with mod support. iRacing has announced they will publish an official IndyCar game in 2026, which I am carefully optimistic about, depending on how well the NASCAR game this year ends up to be. Planned for release in the second half of 2026 on Xbox, PlayStation and Steam, they say it will bring career mode, IndyCar and IndyCar Next content and multiplayer races. As they say, Team Penske has been involved in the making, we suppose there will be cheat modes aplenty. Yeah, I'm still salty about that. Sticking with iRacing, they've worked together with Cosworth on telemetry and the display of set telemetry and are delivering the results of that cooperation to everyone who has a subscription. Dubbed PI Toolbox, they say it's got advanced visualizations. We'll let Cody take a look at it and let us know if it's any good. The Zolda mod made official content is out on rFactor 2 for €8 USD. I hope the mod maker is getting the biggest part of that money. Ike's working on a video about it because he also found a Fun Cup mod for it. First opinion is, it's good. Nikon have explained a bit more about Endurance Motorsport series, and yes, you will be managing, engineering and driving the cars, so to speak, at the same time. At the same time, they made clear they're not releasing the game until early 2026. We all only have 364 ways to get it wrong. Multiplayer will be in there since day one. The Sim Gaming Expo, first big sim racing expo in the USA, at least that we're aware of, opens its doors next week, and we have, as always, planned for a ton and a half of videos based on our impressions, observations and conversations there. This time we've sent our inside man Cody there to meet a lot of people and companies. Concerning people, we're going to have two very special guests in our podcast, which this time will be recorded on site at the Sim Gaming Expo. Apart from that, we have it on good information. It will be worth your while visiting the SimuCube booth, but they might unleash deadly Finnish mosquitoes on us if we say more. I'm not kidding, those things are ferocious. Gomez Sim Industries plan to be showing a new wheel and Project Motor Racing, their new as yet to be released sim. Another company showing a new wheel, heck, a whole new system, will be PXN, who will present the shortly released direct drive set of bases with the corresponding wheels and pedals. They will have a series of tournaments based on those, and if you end up winning, you may take a VD10 bundle home together with a GTR Simric. Also, you will be able to experience their newest product, the PD-LP load cell pedals. And I'm pretty sure Cody will bring us more news and information, not only around the world of sim racing, but also about sim flying and any other sim content that he deems interesting. Remember, this is the Sim Gaming Expo. If this is not a good time to subscribe to get the newest and freshest in sim racing, I don't know which is. If you like what we're doing here on WromWrom and want to support us, it's easy, just a few clicks. Like, subscribe and set the notification bell. Takes less than a Hamilton pit stop. Thanks for your support. Automobilista 2 rolled out its 1.6.7 update on Saturday, bringing new cars and netcode and AI developments. The update introduces the Formula V Gen 2, described as representing the latest model of the Brazilian FV, developed in close collaboration with the series, and features the exact configuration being used in this weekend's event at the Velocità circuit. The new Formula V has ditched its old air-cooled Beetle engine for a modern VW Fox, also called Golf depending on where you live, 1.6-liter setup, and swapped the swing axle rear suspension for something more civilized. Also joining the roster is the Ligier JS-P4 as a late addition to the previously released Endurance Pack Part 3 DLC. The multiplayer system got what they call a Stage 2 overhaul, and the AI received updates to how it calculates center of gravity, and it also got other changes which end up making AI drivers slightly more realistic in their ability to mess up. Among the smaller changes, the car reset function makes a comeback and is now fully functional and optional in a multiplayer environment. Road reflections now affect areas outside the racing line at a lower intensity, which is the kind of detail that shows impressive attention to realism. Some of the fixes make you wonder how some of these issues existed in the first place. Safety cars being included in race results, participants doing one extra lap and spoiling final race results, and vehicles not being properly ghosted after resets. Oh well.